Heyo. Thank you, Riddles. How's your throat doing, baby?
Manageable. Started getting pretty grainy at the thing, but
Sweetie's got Borg.
I will be stuffing my face a lot.
It's all good.
I'm pretty sure there's more of you talking right now.
No! Mute, please. Okay, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. We return. How? Alright, we will put a time in for an hour, and if you're still here, we'll kick you out. Oh, right, this guy. Motherfucker. Hold on.
No.
Alright. Mr. Naruhodo. What on earth are you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis, my amazing hypothesis, you've been picking holes in it from the start. Sorry about that. But you promised me. You said you'd prove that dreaded explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you'd keep my present invention from falling into anyone else's hands. But all you've done so far is try to undermine me.
Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there?
Ah, but if I just run through some equations, yes, you see, it's because my work is incomplete.
Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, just as a reminder.
You really should have. You really should have done an object.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault, and I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster. No, not just as a scientist, but as a human being.
Can't disagree with you there.
Hey, Space Kitty, how you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, I honestly can't disagree with them either. Well, that might be a little over the top. Well, our Ryuku's nicer than us.
And while we're on the subject, what about Barak? He's being awful.
Actually, he's being kind of nice today.
Yeah, seriously.
He's being a good boy.
You don't even know him, man.
Right, he's
You
been
thought that was
worse.
Derek being awful.
He's been way worse in the past. Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean?
He's a disaster. Not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being.
Whoa!
Wow!
Damn, hairbrain. Harsh, yo.
Yeah, I feel like testing would have been a good idea before starting the machine with a human. You know,
Please,
saying
come on.
riddles
Can
is-
someone say that in court, please? Did you test it on an apple?
Oh, but no, wait, he's the Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as a Homo sapiens anymore.
No.
he's definitely classified as a homo, let me tell you that. Glad that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you?
No. Yes, what?
The machine and the demonstration you prepared, they were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume. There was no trickery involved?
Mm-hmm.
I drew the plan for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet. But please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it.
All right, Professor, I understand.
Counsel, defendant! The prosecution's witness is ready to take the stand. The court is about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please.
It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is as sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could have possibly killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Solms was adamant.
A practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible.
They let you eat quite a bit today.
Just a bit. Just a touch. I like what this case is presenting, like the question is presenting. The questions it's presenting.
Oh my god, yeah. That plant riddles needs to be repotted, and there's like a 50% chance it'll die from it. So, really, what should I be trying to prove here? You're putting a lot of faith in Mr. Solms right now.
Yeah.
For someone he has almost, like, no faith in, deduction-wise. He's like,
He's like, oh, this guy knows science.
mm-hmm.
But does he?
Well, the skin print shit worked. It didn't hold up in court, but it worked. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witness to testify?
The prosecution is ready, my lord. A little too sober.
As is the defense, my lord. You need a bottle of wine with you right there, Vera. So, Lord Van Zeeks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes.
Indeed they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. Surprise, surprise. So the testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable.
Perfect. A detective of all people.
The prosecution's stance remains unchanged.
It's Gina, isn't it?
It's Gina. It's Gina, and like Van Zeek's bringing Gina to the stand. That's a little man, dude.
I bet it's Gina.
It's Gina. It's Gina. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. Van Zeeks is just, I'm gonna go hardcore on that. Sure, you can teleport people. That's fine. That's a thing you can do. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused, and my old bestie.
Right.
Die in prison, bitch.
Honestly, I feel like he's just taking this position that the science was sound just to troll Ryunosuke.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, ooh, you gonna go get your client, bitch? Mm-hmm. You gonna have to fight to get your client, bitch?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it was perfectly sound. Of course you could do that.
Mm-hmm. It's only logical that someone could teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, how didn't you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. You're a top.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention that he's not exactly a fan of Ass Man. Maybe a fan of Ass Man.
Right.
But he's not a fan of the guy who died.
Of course he's not an
So
ass
he's
fan.
like-
He's obviously into
He's
Ryukun,
obviously
so...
a Ryukun, so he's not an Ass Man.
Right.
But he doesn't... He's like, yeah, this guy should have died.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't care that this guy died.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's just like, all right, my crazy old friend is wrapped up in this. Yeah, let's troll Ryukun
I
here.
think he's just playing around at this
Yeah.
point. He's like, I know he's gonna get him off the hook, but he's just playing with his food.
scientifically sound.
So bring forth your witness now.
Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ginny's
Gina.
gonna be like, I was up in the balloon.
She was in the balloon, yeah. It's gonna be Gina because...
What?
Oh, what the hell? Yeah, it's Gina.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. Oh God.
I'll be the child, I guess.
I'll be the child. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. My name is Balthazar Loon.
He's got a fucking... He's
I
got
am
a
a balloon
fire
man.
in his head. Hello?
Ooh. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage. Oh, you got the German. Haha! You got it. You got to do this. Okay.
I'm so sorry for the butchering of a German accent that I'm about to do. I had to do it for Franziska von Karma, and it did not work out very well. Oh, God damn it. Fuck me. Okay. No, I hate this. No, I hate this. No, I hate this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm on the spot now. This sucks. Okay. My name is William Gottfried Sigmund Ormstein. I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. my voice, for some reason, is very low. I'm very rich.
Oh my God. This is it's like a baby convey.
Right?
Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Erlach Sholmes agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition. I got to go up in one of them old balloons. It was amazing.
Gina. Again. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon, actually, didn't she?
We're not going to talk about how Van Zieks tried to put her away.
And she clearly loved every minute of it.
According to OSHA regulations, there were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above.
You low-key want to name your future cat Gina or Iris at this point. Aww. we vaguely talked about naming a kitty Pearl.
Yeah.
Because from who's another Ace Attorney child.
Yeah. A little too much Pearl.
A little too much Pearl.
You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can ya?
60 feet. About 18 meters then. If you adopt a stray, it's definitely gonna be Gina. Oh,
That's sweet.
Oh, I totally didn't read that line. Hello. Thank you for your introductions. Now you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those who had a vantage point above the stage.
Oh. Yeah, start with the kid. Start with the kid, please. Please? I want to be Borg. Oh god. Nope!
Rip.
Right.
Debated.
Is this guy supposed to be French too? It was an incident terrible. I am only grateful that... No, I'm starting to do a Russian guy.
Yeah.
I'm only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second, another bang in the sky beside us.
Huh? And from amidst this smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere.
The cage, it fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower. I'm doing a Russian-French guy. That's what I'm doing. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. All right. Okay. I didn't even process that.
A most extraordinary collective account, I must say.
Extraordinary is one way to define it.
Can I just clarify something? What the fuck, guys? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically that there were 2 explosions?
Uh-huh. What's up with that?
You love speaking English in accent. Aww.
Well,
I'm just very bad at it.
2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes.
Not a great
So-
actress.
Right here on the map, you see.
Oh, Van Zieks, so
When
you're
the
over
demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around. Just put your hand
here.
right
okay,
up.
yeah, I'm here. All right.
Here. Yes, and
Right, yeah.
there were other balloons in the air nearby, here and here, at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear.
All right. You don't have to be stroking my hand while we're doing this.
Just making sure that you understand where the balloons are.
Okay. That's fine.
Then, as power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred.
Oh, okay.
Explosion right here. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later...
You're just pulling up my hand.
The second explosion occurred, directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. So, to recap, there was 1 explosion, followed quickly after by another.
Okay. You can let go of my hand now. Okay, alright, thanks.
What is he doing with his hand?
No, I'm not really sure.
The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower.
Okay, you don't need... your hand doesn't need to go that low. Sir?
Right down here.
Sir. I was very surprised. Suddenly, a cage appears out of nowhere. Appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide.
Mm-hmm. Have another balloon, kiddo.
What happened to your last one?
I still have a lot of money.
Wait, it's Kanbei part 2.
Right.
That's Kanbei after getting a balloon.
Precisely who is this curious infant? Surprised that Fanzix could comprehend that a person was in a bird cage. Maybe perhaps we need to replace the word box with things that can keep things captive in the future.
That's a bird cage. You can see into it. Obviously, things can go in a bird
No,
cage.
yeah, because I've said that the problem is likely his object permanence. In a bird cage, you can see things inside. But in a box, once you close the lid, you can't see it.
You can see birds inside the cage. That's why it's called a bird cage.
Right.
I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. So, possibly associated with all this professor nonsense.
Good for him.
Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the Great Exhibition. And by unnoticed, I mean the exhibition called Unnoticed.
Yeah, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school.
We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony.
We'll have the benefit of having
that, my learned friend.
Absolutely, we have a benefit of a minor being in the room, so you won't get all over me next time there's a map.
Point.
Do we really need that?
Apparently you did.
Then I remove my mask. This is what I look like.
What is going on here?
That's nice.
What is even happening here?
Ah, yes, I see a delightful face, I'm sure.
Yeah, everyone said so.
Great disguise, then.
The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court.
A child would totally act that way.
Mm-hmm. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with Mr. Assman on the stage could possibly have committed the murder, because teleportation is a thing. Prove me wrong!
No?
Wait, what?
Yes, thanks you, counsel. The prosecution's views on the matter are quite clear. To the defense's cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord. That was the incorrect bowl.
Wrong ball.
Alright. Hold it, my dude.
Bone.
There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation at the time, I understand.
CC. All 3 of them. My bellissimi bambini. Is he supposed to be Italian?
He's French, Italian, Spanish.
What do you want from me, dude? Now I just want to make him Russian to fuck with him. Okay. They are very popular, signor. Some people will pay £10 for one ride. I don't know.
£10? That's more than my annual stipend. You poor boy.
£20 a month, that is my pocket money.
This kid.
Money.
Royals have all the luck.
Luck is damn right.
I got so confused when I said CC in a French accent out of every place. That's funny. You're not allowed to eat.
I got up there for free, I did. Play the old, I work for Her Majesty's Police Guard. You know?
Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though?
Because if I have too many in disguise, they could crash into each other. The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area. See, and the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impresarios, they hate me.
Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements of the balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps you could hear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident.
Right. Just eat my fish and chips.
Right.
I can fill you in there, my lord.
Let me hear about these bangs! So we actually saw the accident happen from up in the air.
Yup. Isn't it amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Odo, being a lawyer's mug's game. You should join the force and we can go flying together. That's cute.
You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think?
No. Everything. We saw everything because we were up above it all. That dodgy code climbing into that cage and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was that massive bang and the cage disappeared, just like that.
You're describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by electricity, I believe.
I didn't know what to make of it, but then there was another bang, right in my ear. I looked round, and there was a huge, great fireball right next to us in the sky. And there was nothing there before.
I'm gonna read these lines very slow, so you have to finish your burger, okay?
Thank you.
Master Gotts, does your memory of the day differ?
My teacher at the elementary school says that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name.
What was it again?
Wilhelm, Gottreich, Sigismund, Ormstein.
Just the 4 names, then. The point is, do you have something to say? He's like, I'm not gonna even try. Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps.
Get it right, Odo. It's Inspector Lestrade.
Why does everybody have a problem with how I address them at the moment?
That is not what I saw.
Oh? Even I struggle to say that name. Well, good, because so do I.
Yeah, there was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloons, that is true.
I'm going to struggle a lot with this because I'm going to have to try to be doing an accent and also reading text at the same time.
Yep.
So I will stumble over my words. I apologize.
Yep.
Same thing happened with Francisca.
Which is what I said, isn't
Hold
it?
on. He's like, but I'm sure. And then he said,
Which is what I said, isn't it? 1 minute there was nothing there, the next a massive explosion.
my teacher at elementary school says that when someone else is speaking, if you're rude enough to interrupt, you have the most awful life imaginable.
Are we all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy?
Oh boy.
Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky.
A green balloon?
Hey, what? I never saw nothing like that.
Well, I did. I saw it. You can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am a Bohemian prince. You cannot say it is a lie, as that is not allowed.
God. Playing the blatant royalty card, are you? Yep, typical.
The orphan who likes to remind people she worked for Her Majesty's police.
Newkin is just over all of this.
Right.
He's like, why am I even here?
In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony.
Oh.
In the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. Oh, boy.
Oh boy. I gotta say that so far, these two witnesses, they are currently my number one least favorite witnesses in this entire game.
Yep.
I would take the military guy with the baby and the old guy with the butt plug over these two.
Don't go with the butt plug was fun.
Yeah.
A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that?
Of course, I'm sure. I'm a proud Bohemian prince. All these questions are making me boring.
We get the point. Fuck the royals.
I think you mean bored?
Ugh, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior.
Ragazzo! It is very... I don't even know, man. It is very wrong to lie.
Lie?
Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is logical.
Please tell me that doesn't mean logical.
I think he's supposed to be Italian.
If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia.
Madai!
I will have the army come down and shoot all your stupid balloons out of the sky, all of them.
Here you are, your highness.
If only all international incidents were so easily resolved.
Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Loon? God, you have to ask this guy? No, I did not see the explosione myself, however. The cage, blah blah blah.
Right, hold on. Okay. This isn't a contradiction, but... this one. If I present it on here... like, again, it's not a contradiction.
Right, but it's proof.
But it will back up his statement. No, okay.
Maybe it's on Gina? Does Gina say something like, no, there wasn't, or...
No, okay, well, I'm just gonna load on that. It was a shot in the dark. Did you see that actually happen?
No. In reality, I did not. I saw after he hit the tower. There was a grand confusione around the stage. I ran to see what had happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed.
I suppose they are his livelihood.
But when I looked up into the sky, all my precious balloons were still there. I saw it though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I am a detective now.
Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade.
Inspector Lestrade, by the by, is a Sherlock Holmes character. That's what I like to hear. I never noticed that. I never picked up that her last name was Lestrade before, and now that she's Inspector, I'm like, that's right. That's a main Sherlock Holmes character. Okay.
Okay, this guy was like... Alright, well... Was it you who gave the order to keep people away?
Eh? You said, Odo? How could it have been me? I was up in the blue, what I?
Right.
So caught I weren't available. Was the boss who had legged up over there? He was getting shoved and kicked all over by the panicking spectators as he tried to seal off the scene. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell you. Amazing.
Poor Inspector Gregson. Well, she's so cute.
So anyway, I couldn't see the cage that well because of all smoke. I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out me wits.
Keep it together, Inspector. Prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. But what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick instead? That would mean the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic, for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. Okay. Oh!
Aha.
I'm still gonna save.
Yeah.
Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all three of your balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged.
See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terrible. Terrible. Meow? Meow. Thank you. My baby gave me M&Ms.
I wonder if you might know what this is.
Ah! I think it may be. See, part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope.
Sorry, the envelope?
Pardon. That is the large, round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky.
So much excitement bundled up for getting stuff together. It makes me unreasonably unhappy. Yeah, I'm honestly pretty pleased about this case already. Just as I thought. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gott testified, the green balloon did indeed explode that day.
Eh?
If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged just clearly contradicts the evidence. Unless it was someone else's balloon.
Did that really necessitate all of this?
Right.
Oh my. Oh my.
That guy is very homosexual.
He's just ridiculously, yeah.
Wow.
Gay it up for him. The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage. The point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon.
Causing the balloon to explode. Yes, imminently plausible.
An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts, so don't try to weasel out of this one, my learned friend. This I cannot accept!
Why not, Mr. Loon?
You are suggesting that I am a liar! That persons died in a balloon incidente! There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day. That's right, and I prove it. Balthazar Loon is not a liar. There was no such balloon in the sky. It is non-possible.
You're saying that it's impossible? Why?
Non-possible! This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Hang on just
Hello.
a fucking moment. This is actually... I need to take a picture of this because this is like top Ace Attorney.
This is directly relevant to the case. Shut the fuck up. We have gone off on worse tangents than this
A million
in the
times.
last case.
Yeah.
We talked about gas for 50 minutes.
We had the whole jury talking about their utility bills.
Right. But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon.
If you must.
Sorry. I concur. There's clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you'll give the supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition.
Grazie, my lord. He's a French guy who grew up in Italy and Spain and then moved to Russia. That's what I
Or
decided.
he's Swiss.
Oh!
French,
Uh-huh.
German, Italian. All of the above.
Yep.
He's a Swiss man.
As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an esplosione, what a catastrophe! But you can't get away from the fact that the burnt up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? Coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on stage. This stupido ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. What?
So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one that belonged to you?
Si, exactamente. If he even saw a balloon in the first place.
If he goes on about how much greater he is than everyone else, then he's 100% Swiss.
Love it.
Wow, some real shade being thrown at the Swiss right now.
I just gotta say, like that. Well, that certainly reflects a certain Swiss character we know. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. I'm becoming American now. I sue everyone.
If you attack us, we will fight fight back. It will be war. Our war.
That's
You don't know what vor is. You're too young to know what
I
vor
know.
is. What happened to all out war? No, that's not what he said, Ryukun. He said all out war.
Now you're gonna have to wait till Google's invented.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
go
you're gonna
Google.
have to go to library Google.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen him in that like oh god mode way more times recently.
Like
than
in
ever
this
before.
case than
He's just, like,
we have
constantly,
ever.
like what the oh my god, I can't even with this.
But that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and the evidence are contradictory here.
If the defense is unable to find fault with the witnesses' statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend.
Not out of context at all.
Not out of context whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just having you think. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witness.
Certainly get to the bottom.
Oh, hilarious, Van Zeeks. A person died?
Fine.
No, a capitalist died. It's totally different. When that came up, my phone went nice. Very good.
Is this actual testimony? No.
You couldn't have forgotten one, maybe?
Signor. I might not notice if I was given 100 lentils and one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I could make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse.
Nice.
He found a very nice fitted suit. I have the report here. Clearly says a total of 3 balloons.
Riddles. I want you to be like the second person ever to know that, like, a lot of people know that I'm in school for game dev. If I ever make a game myself that has any kind of numbers or stats appear on the screen at any given time, literally any time that stat or number is 69, I will have in parentheses nice afterwards. That is what I will code it into every game I ever make. 69 parentheses nice. Every time. And it's probably going to be like, it's probably gonna fuck up my code so much to have this happen all the time.
Yeah, we just have a function in there.
Yeah.
Like,
if number equals 69,
print nice.
print nice.
I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 69 balloons.
Nice.
Oh. Function is working.
Nice. It appears that no mistake has been made then. Surely Miss Lestrade could have sent for such a could have been sent for such a menial task.
What? Me? I'll tell you what, I told the boss, Esan kids like me can only count up to 2.
Wow.
Really? Obviously that ain't true, but the boss bought it and said he'd have to go up himself in that case. Poor Ryukun, dealing with this shit all alone.
It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky?
Hopes and prayers! Are you an idiota?
Yes.
Ah, well, we are done here.
Sorry?
Bakaka. That is like asking why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright, and a balloon flies because it flies. What else?
Must be Italian for I don't know.
Okay, so they do actually think he's like full in Italian.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too late. I am not making him Italian.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 types of flying balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air. See, I know science. Whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air. And yet, I believe in teleportation. See, and my balloons are filled with the magic gas, I believe.
No, you're wrong.
Hydrogen. Lighter than air, but highly explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Talking so much science, musics.
Mm-hmm. I would love to know, Riddles. Please tell us what the concept of hot air balloons was found. How it was found. Good lord.
I do not permit smoking of the cigarettes in any of my balloons. The magic gas does not like fire. Ugh. Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. What is the matter with you, senor? All that comes out of your mouth is esplosione, esplosione. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day, I am completely sure.
By hanging close to dry over the fireplace. Mmm.
Hey.
My mom used to have a decoration she would put out around Christmas that was a, it was basically just like, it was a, like, basically a model of a merry-go-round with little bells on it. And then it had, like, a fan at the top, and the fan had these little, like, metal bars hanging down from it. And then you'd light candles, like, at the bottom of it, and the hot air from the candle would spin the fan. And then the little bars would, like, hit, like, would hit the bells, and it would just go ding, 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 and, like, go around in a circle. Yeah.
Science!
Yeah, it's science, but also just a fun decoration.
But if you still say that is what happened, you must show me the proof.
Alright, so Mr. Lin had 3 balloons in the air that day. If none of them were damaged, then... what was the one that exploded?
Look at Yukin with that.
Made tiny versions of that with tea lights and small aluminum pipe. Yeah. Like, the decoration that my mom had was literally like you would put like birthday candles in it. That was how small it was. So he says that he does. They're not hot air balloons, but these are obviously hot air balloons, right? So this guy is also an idiot.
Everyone's idiots here.
Yeah, I also like self-harm and things like that. I was surprised to find a piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Also, those water drinking birds. Yeah, I love those.
Now, not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. An inspector who doesn't pick anything up off the ground. Always works out way better diving into people's pockets instead.
So much for the new career path.
The boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is though, Cage went crashing into the Crystal Tower, didn't it? So, that's where most of the investigating was going on.
I can tell you could find some very valuable things on the ground. For example, once when I went to a concert, I only had so much spending money for merch. And I don't know, like, anyone who's known me for any period of time knows that I used to be, like, a massive Fall Out Boy fan. And so I went to this music festival specifically to see Fall Out Boy. And I bought, like, a hoodie that was on sale. And it was $60. And I had $80 with me. So I bought the $60 hoodie. But I also wanted the tour shirt. But that was $40. So I didn't have enough money for the tour shirt and I was very sad. But I was like, whatever, I'll live. And then, so we went to the concert, and then we stayed after, kind of just, oh god, I still really like Fall Out Boy. Like, straight up. So, I stayed after for a long time. I mean, Fall Out Boy originated in my hometown, which is Chicago. So, you know, it's only natural. So anyway, like, we stayed after, and I was waiting around for my friends to come around, so we waited basically until, like, the entire music festival was basically cleared out. And I was walking around, and I looked down, and on the floor I saw a tour t-shirt in my size. And that's really unfortunate for whoever bought that shirt for $40 and then somehow lost it in the crowd, but...
You would love that shirt very much.
But I would also love this shirt very much, and, like, if you picked up a $40 shirt on the ground at a Fall Out Boy concert, and then you held it up and was like, whose shirt is this? Someone's gonna claim it that doesn't actually fucking have the shirt. Like, who didn't actually buy the shirt. So I'm like, this may as well just be my shirt. So, I did find a Fall Out Boy shirt on the ground, and it's like, it's legitimately like identical to every other shirt that was around. So it's like, it's probably one of the least honest things I've done in my entire life, but like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with keeping it, because it's like, who, like, this was on the ground so, like, it was obviously on the ground so long that literally, like, no one would have been able to find it. Even if it was the right person, they wouldn't have been able to find where it was. So, anyway, I still have it. It's a really good shirt. I like it a lot. It's very soft. Anyway, even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered it up as evidence.
Listen to you. You stumble across a bit of balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Well, that's me.
Pardon?
Well, you ain't got a badge, have you? Like this one. I could arrest you with this if I wanted to. It's gonna be a chance to show off your show off your badge. You got a badge right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her. It's not really a badge, though. It's just an armband.
Shh. Don't tell them it's just on the band. Come to think of it, there was talk of some scorching on the ground in a meeting we had about the investigation. Coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage.
Mm-hmm. There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there?
Yeah, some of the coves what were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Oh, he injured people.
Mm-hmm.
Good job the old contraption didn't keel over, eh?
I hadn't even considered that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
M&Ms.
You're the one that found the M&Ms at a discounted price.
Got you your Halloween M&Ms.
Mm-hmm. The only good time to get candy is after Halloween.
Mm-hmm. It seems there was great panic after the incident occurred.
And after Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Best place to get candy and chocolate.
Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon.
Discount. The stores order so much candy and chocolate for Halloween and Thanksgiving, or Halloween and Valentine's Day, that they can't possibly sell it all. So then they have this huge stock of candy and chocolate that, especially around Valentine's Day, because it's usually like themed toward Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So they have like all of this excess candy that they can't sell at full price, because it's basically like, obviously you had this for Valentine's Day and or Halloween. So they put it like 50%, like 20% off, 50% off, 75% off, like depending on how long it was since the holiday. And so you can get some really good chocolate, like super cheap. Yeah. Yeah, do remember that for chocolate. I don't know if it works the same in Germany, but it definitely works that way in the States.
Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions.
Repercussions?
Let's pretend I said repercussions.
Repercussions!
Repercussions!
That's what you call a concussion that you give other people. Repercussions.
Opens bottle of wine. Yeah, he hasn't started drinking yet. He's gotten sober over this recess, and
I want you to slam me into a wall so hard that you give me a repercussion.
Ah! Could arrange that, my learned friend.
Please.
What? Wait. Like me swiping all those fish and chips, eh? Like I was trying to do earlier on the stream.
The man's sole pleasure.
None of this matters. That scrap of balloon envelope means nothing. Niente.
I had taken to calling Valentine's Day discount chocolate Eve for a reason. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh my god.
You mean the color is wrong?
Si, senor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse.
And yet a piece of green cloth was found at the scene. And it's unmistakably from a balloon.
It could be fancy jacket. Well, I do not know how that can be. for the sake of argument, which is basically
Thanks.
all we're here for right now, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage.
Oh my god!
There?
Look at this baby M&M!
Oh,
It's so small!
baby! You can't eat that before you take a picture.
No,
Wait,
I'm going to take a picture.
hang on, you
Hold
need
on.
an M&M for scale.
Yeah, it's a mini. These are already mini M&Ms. I want you to know.
It's the miniest M&M.
I found the miniest M&M of them all.
It's so tiny. Wait. I'm gonna take a picture of your hand holding the M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tiniest.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Would you like to do the honors?
Really?
Yeah, you could eat the mini M&M.
That's the miniest M&M I've ever minied.
Yeah, he actually hasn't had wine right now. He's unusually sober. Anyway.
Oh, you couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. What was that about a mini M&M?
Right. Why not? I'm not really sure. Oh my god, there's another one! What? What?
Hey!
It's another one! What? How did this happen? There's two!
What?
I don't know how this happened. I don't get it.
How long have we actually been in this testimony?
I don't know, but we're very distractible today. Anyway.
There have been recreational balloon... Okay, so I just read this as recreational balloon fights. And I was like, what's a recreational balloon fight look like? And how was this invented before TikTok? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition.
Maybe he needs to stay sober so he can stay focused during a straight, on keeping a straight face when calling bad science sound. You right, though.
One could have One could have exploded on some earlier date. As one does, or could. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree, that one did not explode on some earlier date.
Yes, you never want to be the first to explode. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition?
Sí, exactamente. As the signor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw. Oh god. Oh my god, these two are just... Can we get them off the stand?
Great. Is something wrong, Master Gotts?
Yeah.
It's Master Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund Ormstein.
This is what you get for me having to do the French one.
Mm-hmm. It was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear I saw it. I swear over Bohemia.
You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. If you do not have evidence, ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh?
Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishment.
I'll decide when it comes to punishment.
Evidence? What is this evidence? To give a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance, or some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here.
Yes, it's right here under my cloak.
Good gracious.
I'm just keeping it for
What?
the young gentleman.
I had not been up in the balloon for a while, so I was very excited.
What the holy...
I took lots and lots of photographs.
Wow, that thing's heavier than that kid is.
Right? Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian Exhibition, of the streets of London, of the Hot Eel Cellar, the balloon.
Hot eel cellar.
And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that?
No. Of course not.
Yeah, one picture.
Really? You did take one?
No, Van.
But all I wanted was a ride in the balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments.
Never mind that. Can you show us the photograph?
Will it make you laugh?
Of course, and then you will see. You will see that I am not lying, that I really did see a green balloon.
Oh boy. What the fuck is this War of the World shit? Wait.
Well, I see you are too shocked to speak.
Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. He looks like an ant holding a whole loaf of bread.
Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but...
This kid's colorblind, isn't he?
But that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera.
How would you... How you pronounce?
How you... I'm not totally sure. I'm not really sure. That's I'm not really familiar with that level of umlaut.
A?
As
A?
in meow.
Meow.
So
meow.
yeah.
Wait.
Hey. That is one very bohemian sounding cry.
Very unique cry.
Okay,
Oh, dear God.
we'll just pretend like that's a thing that he's saying. Very well. The court will accept this photograph as evidence.
Okay, I like how there's all this bullshit about whether or not a balloon was green, but it ultimately gets us an actual fucking photograph we can use.
What? Okay. Well, this is definitely not the hot air variety, or else there would have been like a.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you can kind of see something coming up toward it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The fuck is that supposed to be, though?
There's someone running in the background here.
Hey. What's up with you? Is that Gina? No, she was up in the sky.
Someone running in the background here.
So there's the guy, and there's the guy in the cage.
There's a child over here. I think this is also a child, actually. I don't know, I'm looking at the people. Okay.
It is not my fault. This is the fault of the person who made the camera.
Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph?
Well, it was on the day of the big explosion.
You don't say.
When I pressed the shutter release, there was a very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my face.
That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred.
Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing.
It's not black and white, it's sepia.
This sepia photograph, I could not give the flying fig.
Lovely language you've picked up.
I've picked up 4 or 5 of them languages.
As I thought, Mr. Lou's testimony doesn't quite add up.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah, go to bed, Riddles. A young bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon. But Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. It's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in the air. Alright, good night-o, Riddles.
Good night-o.
Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. Okay.
Okay, it says the balloons are carrying passengers. Well, there were no passengers in that balloon. So it's clearly not one of his balloons.
Right. We will make sure that there is something to catch up with tomorrow. And this one does not carry passengers. Unfortunately, the photograph Master Gotts took can't tell us the color of the balloon. But it can tell us something else. Something crucially important.
Point to where in the photograph. What?
It shows us that the pictured balloon does not contain anything. Wasn't carrying any passengers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we like to talk about containers?
Well, you can see this container.
Yes, it's not containing anything.
What's your point?
It's nothing. I just thought we would like to talk about containers for a little while.
Why don't you point out where on the photo?
You know, I think I'll pass on that, actually. Hold on. Ah, my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise.
See, they are for pleasure, for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers.
Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage.
Dun dun dun.
A mysterious green balloon!
Woohoo!
I know nothing,
Yes, you can take it.
This is you.
I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. His balloon is pumping.
Yeah, it sure is.
There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition. And managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing.
Yeah, but there were no fucking passengers, so he wouldn't have been making any money if it was...
See, the competizione, trying to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experimental that went wrong on the stage.
This first balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asman was beamed from the stage below.
Right, so them scraps that fell to the ground after and left them scorch marks. They didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon breaking down. But cause no one was in it, it didn't get no attention.
A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers silently floating over the experimentation stage.
This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case.
Oh, fantastic. Its relevance does not elude me, I must say. Its relevance does elude me, I must say.
The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already.
Oh, are you just gonna have us...
To send him to prison. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. I've run out of wine. Oh god, really?
No one's paying any fucking attention. Really? Have we really gotten to the truth yet?
God.
No, I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up. And not in our favor. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing more we can learn from it?
Nothing more we can do?
There's more! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue.
What's that? A vital clue? We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove and point to it?
The cause of the explosion. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed by the searing heat of the explosion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was not my fault.
Evidently. Because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. Prove me wrong! The balloon being filled with flammable hydrogen instantly and explosively ignited.
No, that's not what happened.
What?
It would appear that this photograph does requires further examination. As for the defense, he will highlight the location of the alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Of course, my lord. All right, Van Zieks, get
Point
over
to
here.
Where is it?
If you look
my
closely,
learned friend?
it's plain enough to see.
I'm looking quite closely.
All right, and what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have in a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon explodes is right over here.
Right here?
Right here.
Here?
Here's the tip of it, Lord Van Zieks.
That's the tip.
And there's the shaft.
Mm.
And there's the balls. Wait. This is actually kind of phallic.
I can't unsee.
It's very thin. And we're gonna call him from now on Professor Needledick. The timing of this photograph could only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon.
Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. Artifacts, my friend, artifacts.
I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear the nature of what the nature of this bright line really is. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning?
But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire.
A bolt of fire leading straight for the balloon like an arrow.
Thank you. He said it, we didn't.
Indeed, even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon? This is fucking stupid.
Absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height.
What if it was fired from a crossbow? Mm-hmm. Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how exactly, how that is exactly what did happen.
So, like, did it only take 3 hours or 4 to present the crossbow? What evidence?
Oh, I'm actually the one hiding evidence until the last minute. How does it fucking feel, Van Zieks?
What evidence?
If such evidence is counsel, then for goodness sake, present it, man. Alright, well, I'm gonna save real quick in case they're like, now you can examine the fucking crossbow.
Yeah, well, let's try to examine the fucking crossbow first, shall we?
Wait, I can!
Aha!
Ah, there's some sort of lever here.
Aha!
Yep, it's a motherfucking crossbow. What is this?
Welcome to a crossbow.
This is pretty sick, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun.
One might even call it
a crossbow.
How about a cross gun?
Right, a cross gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too.
It's like the beta versus VHS thing.
The
The cross gun people lost.
Now this groove here, it's very groovy. Mm-hmm. Must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. Right. It's sort of a bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3.
Oh, did you try archery?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's...
aw.
I mean, his
He could be an archer.
the thing on his hand kind of looks reminiscent of an archery brace, too.
I'm gonna investigate this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it might not actually be. But it looks like it could be. But man, you don't have to. Like, why are you pulling it all the way back? Because I've done archery before. Like, the way that you pull, like, to be fair, I did a compound bow, not like a longbow or anything like that. But I never pulled it back that close to my ear. I would always pull it kind of further back. Or not further back, but like further to the side, like probably like a half an inch away from my face. But I wasn't very good at it either, so.
There is a hand thing.
She's not using an archery brace, though. No, like the archery brace would go on this
the
hand
side
here.
where you're actually firing the thing.
Yeah, because the problem is
Yeah.
that your hand is in the way here sometimes, and the bracers actually make it so like when you release the string, it won't like hit like your wrist, because it hurts.
Well, it definitely seems like it's very common to have the arrow holder on the arrow side.
Right, but I'm talking about a bracer.
Yes, I know. I understand.
Anyway, it just doesn't look like any of them are wearing bracers.
Duke's like, are you done there?
That's if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten. If I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kudo archery training.
Were they in archery training together?
That's so cute.
They were in archery training together. Oh.
It's like, oh, I want a crossbow. It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine that it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow.
All the new technology.
I really had no idea what it was when I was picking up. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. You and picking up powerful weapons, dude.
God, if the only interesting thing that happens this entire round of the case is him investigating the crossbow.
Right. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in oils and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. I don't know how that you could do bolts quite that way.
Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately? Blimey, you're right. That streak of light at the phone looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then the explosion of the balloon, it was...
Very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow, lighting the hydrogen and gas inside it.
Okay, say that 3 times fast now.
No.
No! No!
No.
I am stabooed.
I have been shot through the heart with a crossbow. Order, counsel, this is an extraordinary supposition. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter would have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question.
The noise of the discharge, of course.
That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Well, not silently.
Not entirely silently.
Just
but
not as loud as a gun.
Well, yeah, if someone has shot off a gun in the exhibition grounds, it will cause a real panic. But we see big explosione. There was a very big panic anyway, no?
I don't like this. I should have been pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong.
That also feels very his life. Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my learned friend?
If a flaming arrow did indeed reach the balloon, it did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued...
What? Wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all? Or what?
My goodness me. Ah, now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along.
Uh-huh.
What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse is bolted.
The horse has bolted. We gotta chase down this fucking horse.
Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On the stage when the experiment was started, the birdcage in the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads.
Sleight of hand kind of thing, you know?
From amid the smoke, the hidden bird cage then appeared to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you'll all agree that it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief!
Fanzix is like facepalm. Objection! This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's sorcery, you Eastern fiend. It's child's play, a contemptible display of stage magic. Oh, you don't like magicians, huh?
Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day.
You're a smarty pie, Dukin. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the Crystal Tower.
I'm not smart, I just have a very active imagination.
If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? Was it... Don't say it was twins. Yep. Here we fucking go.
Right?
Alright, okay. If I may put in a word as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3.
Hold on. Juror number 3.
All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Assman. And having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. Body doubles. Also an Ace Attorney thing.
Yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Assman must have been inside the bird cage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture.
Not necessarily. The explosive force of balloon gas would very much depend on the mixture ratio.
Oh, we got a scientist in the house.
Juror number 4. Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered.
The mixture ratio? I missed that class.
Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. But not to such an extent to render the whole obscene charade impossible. Impossible.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Impossible. It's a non-possibility.
So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically.
Ooh.
The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It doesn't say, like, how the guy would have been, like, breathing in there.
Like, how the fuck would he have breathed inside a hydrogen-helium balloon?
That would fucking suck, my dude. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that the instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present at the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant who was on the stage in full view the entire time.
Nah!
This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter.
Very hard.
Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that the Professor Harebrained is a suspect now.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh, Professor Harebrained's gonna get up on that stand and fuck up everything you just said.
Yep, Hold it. Yep.
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 Yep. Yep. Yep.
Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts, thank you.
Professor?
But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please.
Sorry? I'm your legal representation, hello?
What's all this about, Mr. Harebrain?
I, Albert Harebrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odiasman.
Yeah.
What?
So he's trying to say he did it because he still wants to keep his science. He's like,
Yes,
put
it
me
was
away.
me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver.
What? What are you doing? Yeah, like he'd rather be like.
Yeah, he'd rather be sent to prison for murder than
Then-
have his science be.
Yeah, he'd rather not
Called
be
a
known
fraud,
as a fraud, yeah. Order, order, order! Defendant, explain the sudden confession.
I object to it.
Professor Harebrained, what are you talking about?
It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis, my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick, an elaborate prank, but where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it. Then it would all be over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean the indignity of it.
It's clearly that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you'll just let me, I can prove.
Barak!
Yes.
I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please. Ensure that the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation.
I need a drink now. A toast to my learned friend's incompetency. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture, but I need
have
to
been
get
sober this
slammed.
entire time since the recess, and I definitely need it at this point.
I'm getting hammered. Starting now.
Holy shit.
Here's to my learned friend.
Okay.
Yep.
What?
And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in light of the accused's confession. I'll just be standing here drinking while I watch this shit. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. So, you're fucked. If you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. So what's it gonna be?
He's testing us.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, do you want to know the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want the investigation to be crushed?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did he say?
What's the defense's position on the matter?
What's the defense's position on the matter?
Bottom.
What? Yeah, bottom, obviously. What Professor Harebrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on the stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of the hypothesis.
But that's not the truth.
But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned?
It's a good one.
Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust.
You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? I've already had a bottle of wine while I'm waiting for your answer. Has all knowledge of English escaped your confused mind? Oh, Buchan.
Mr. Adoro, there's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, but what? The defense asserts that the defendant instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact...
Okay, I got a Cosmo theory here. Alright, so this whole thing is about how no matter what he does here, he's going to betray his trust. Right? There's no way out of this. So, he can't actually win here.
So I think what the game wants me to do is be like a proper scientific invention and then like try to find a way around to like try to find him not guilty like in some other manner. But what I want to do
It's a conjuring trick.
and what I think that he would want to do
Let's find the truth.
is find the truth and allow it to be investigated. And I think I think Van Zieks would respect this.
Yes. Yep.
And like he's it's obviously a trick question.
Yeah.
It's got to be a chunk country trick. This is what I believe, like deeply.
Oh. Is it not going to let us do this?
I can't say it. My client places faith in me. I can't just let him down or they're going to correct me.
Oh, God.
What must I give up on is not the question you have to ask yourself here. What? It's what can I protect? Ooh, who is this?
Susato!
Susato! What?
Hello again, Naruhodo-san. Ohisashiburi desu. It's been far too long.
Susato-san!
Is this some version of a spirit medium? Is this like teleportation of Susato?
Oh, she threw me. Okay. My first Susato takedown in 6 months. She must have come home.
Susato!
What did you say? But what are you? And then she threw me. Oh my god. Susato, I missed you!
Oh, that was really sweet. In your moment of crisis where you have no one to turn to, Susato returns! There'll be time to talk later, Naruhodo-san. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand.
Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect.
Also, I think this is a parallel to Kazuma.
Right. Professor Harebrain.
Yes?
Yesterday you told me that the science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too.
Yes, of course.
And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Assman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine that you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now.
Oh!
Yeet! So, you finally opened your eyes.
What?
And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say?
Varrock.
Lord Van Zieks.
Hush, I've never heard him speak that way before. Susato, we missed you.
Oh, we missed you so
She's back! She's back, baby!
In truth, there is one thing. Something I remembered that's of relevance.
What?
On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw men near the stage. A man holding that crossbow.
I beg your pardon? Professor! Did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like?
Taller than me, and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and wider than mine. Let me see, one less lens than me too, a monocle, a rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to possibly identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention.
Oh my god, dude. What?
You said like you knew what he was trying to what he was gonna say, but you had no idea. He built the machine?
That's right, Mr. Asman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of
Oh boy.
Enoch Drebber.
Enoch!
Trevor! Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination.
Oh boy. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either!
Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but strange stage trickery in the end.
Flamboyant experiments.
Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money.
Well, that's a wrap. We can all go home now.
Right?
When magicians are in need of money, I've heard them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before.
The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're both dealing with... Yeah, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you.
He just got played.
Fucking played.
The engineer was in cahoots with the rich people and whatever. The poor little scientist didn't know it all.
So it's true then. My invention, my great machine. It was just a grand illusion.
You poor boy.
Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that it sounds increasingly likely.
Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that the machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted.
Which is why you are so opposed to it being investigated, I presume.
I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I've worked towards, all my research, my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect.
So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber.
I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it.
It's entirely possible that Mr. Asmund and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money.
No.
When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore.
Aww. Aww.
Oh.
Oh. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? I said it.
Asking for consent, what a good guy.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry.
Aww.
It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zieks.
My lord.
The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical.
Yes, Mr. Drebber.
Gather information about the man, if possible. I should like him served with a subpoena.
As you wish, my lord. With pleasure.
Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord. When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. Like always?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm always supposed to be doing?
This changes
Like
nothing.
is my job?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? I understand. Good. In that case, I couldn't come up with any other homework for you. I'm sorry. This court is adjourned until tomorrow morning.
Susato!
Susato is back!
Susato is back! Susato!
She's back by your side!
Susato!
Susato. Mom.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess.
I dragged you on Twitter.
How did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry.
Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean? What he was really constructing?
Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it.
Alright, in that case, I won't say anything more. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow.
Well, thank you for doing so much for me. Susato!
I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Naruhodo-san.
Arriving late?
didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Hey, Herlock, did you lose a postcard?
Postcard? What postcard?
I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. I'm going to smack you in the fucking iris. I will not hurt you. You're a child. Well, did it work?
I was surprised, all right, especially when she threw me to the ground.
Oh my god. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out.
Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future. Like a hug.
Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. I was reading your mind a bit, and you see,
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Oh.
Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm, delighted to see you back in London.
You're too kind, Naruhodo-san. I'm delighted to be here. We're all delighted.
We're all happy!
I hope I can continue to be of service to you.
Of course. So, what brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest?
Oh boy. Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? Ha-ha! You know I've made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait. And...
Susato-san was back in London.
Oh.
It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn.
Wow. Wow. We got Susato back just in time for whatever is the grand reveal.
Yes!
God, please,
Oh,
the
right.
extraordinary turn has got to be the apprentice. Hello.
Hello.
Susato is back just in time to be there when the grand reveal happens.
Alright, unfortunately it's late for us, so we
So we gotta go.
have to find someone to raid now. Who is stremming? Who is stremming now? Who can we raid? Let's do... Okay, well... Let's do her. Alright, sorry. There we go, /raid. And then go say hi to Luena, and yeah, we're gonna try and do tomorrow, maybe?
We're gonna do tomorrow.
We're gonna
Work
do
it out.
tomorrow. And then,
Oh, God.
And then we won't be able to do this again for a very long time. I'm so sorry.
We'll be dying.
We are going to be dying.
We're
It's
gonna
going
be
to
dying.
suck. We're so sorry. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.
Whoop.